of Famer Isaiah Thomas joined the Max Kellerman Show on ESPN Radio and delivered this hot take on the greatest of all time debate. Listen up, y'all.
I'm fortunate enough to have lived in an era where I've gotten to see the greatest basketball players ever play the game and have competed against some of them. So this is, I'm just happy to be in this era where we've had a chance to view when LeBron James is all said and done. I don't even think there'll be a doubt in terms of who the greatest player to ever play our sport was. He will be it.
All right, I can't wait for your responses. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go Stephen A., Perk, Max, because you already discussed it on Radio Max, your last. Stephen A., do you agree with Isaiah, who played against Michael Jordan? When it's all said and done, LeBron James will be the GOAT?
Hell no. I do not agree with Isaiah Thomas. And before I go a little bit further, I'd like to remind everybody how close Isaiah Thomas and I are. We've known each other for nearly 30 years. Isaiah, believe it or not, I don't know if I ever told y'all this. I was a high school reporter for the New York Daily News. He gave me my very first NBA interview ever. You know, he was walking away, wasn't talking to the media at that particular moment in time, and saw this young brother that was on the come up in the industry, trying to make something happen for myself and my career. He's the first NBA player to give me an interview, and we've been cool ever since. And I love the guy personally, and we don't disagree on much. This is one argument that Isaiah Thomas and I have been disagreeing about for the better part of a decade. It's not new. Isaiah saying what he said to Max Kellerman yesterday, I appreciate the fact that he revealed that, but he and I have been arguing about that for 12 years, because even 12 years ago he was saying this kind of stuff about LeBron James. I thought it was utterly ridiculous then. I think it's ridiculous now. And that's not to take anything away. I'm almost uncomfortable talking about this because I don't want to take anything away from the greatness of LeBron, or the fact that he's about to capture his 4th ring, or the fact that he's worthy of being on the Mount Rushmore of basketball, because that's how phenomenal I think LeBron James is. But he ain't MJ, okay? And we can look at the numbers all we want to. I can look at the 6 rings compared to 3, probably 4 by tomorrow night that Michael Jordan will have over LeBron James. I could look at the 10 scoring titles of Michael Jordan compared to the 1 for LeBron James. I can look at the Defensive Player of the Year that Michael Jordan has won compared to none that LeBron has ever won, or the fact that Michael Jordan was a 9-time All-Defensive Player in the NBA, since we're not just talking about scoring and we're not just talking about offense. But what I would also like to say to the great Isaiah Thomas, to the Zeke, to the man that was grossly unfairly deprived of a spot on the original Dream Team in the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona. That Isaiah Thomas that was not selected, and clearly it was political. Clearly it was favoritism for one guy over another. John Stockton has averaged more assists in his career than Isaiah Thomas. He's averaged more assists in his career than Isaiah Thomas. He's got a better field goal shooting percentage, a better 3-point field goal shooting percentage than Isaiah Thomas. But nobody worth his salt, meaning nobody outside of the ignorance that Max Kellerman once spewed when he tried to sit up there and say it's by a nail, it's by a hair, that John Stockton was comparable to Isaiah Thomas, which is about the most blasphemous basketball argument you can make as far as I'm concerned, because John Stockton wasn't even on Isaiah's level, okay? In the end, my point is, statistics alone don't tell a story. And I'm going to end it by this, because I know that I got to give y'all this time to talk. Let me be very, very clear with what I'm trying to say here. Errors matter. And what I find most egregious, most blasphemous about Isaiah Thomas's statement is that he ignores the era he was playing in, as far as I'm concerned. It was very physical. It was very volatile. It was an era made for the Kendrick Perkins of the world, for crying out loud. I'm talking about banging bodies, Jordan rules, people getting assaulted and only get caught for a foul, having a foul called against the person that assaulted them, as opposed to the day where you could get ejected for having bad breath. And LeBron James at 6'9", 260 pounds, is playing in the softest era we have ever seen in NBA basketball. The fact that Isaiah Thomas ignores that is beyond me. Floor is y'all's.
Well, Stephen A., you said a lot, and you took up majority of the time, but here it is. Let me tell you where you lied at. You forgot that LeBron James and I came in 2003. The league wasn't soft then. They still had Gary Payton. They still had Shaquille O'Neal. They still had Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace. They still had some rough riders. The league wasn't what it was back then, what it is today. So that's the first thing. Second thing, let's talk about LeBron James' story. Forget all the stats that I could throw out there that may take up majority of the show. Forget this segment. I'm not going to even address that. I'm going to address the word pressure. No athlete in the history, not just in basketball, but in history of sports, have had the pressure that LeBron James has had since the age of 16. I keep telling people that when he was in high school, when they labeled him the chosen one, people in the NBA, they got evidence, were waiting and hating on this man, saying he's not going to do this in the league. And he did it in the league. When you talk about pressure, he left Cleveland and went to South Beach, where it was pressure on them to win championships, and he delivered. Then he returned back to Cleveland, where an owner called him a Benedict Arnold. And he went back to the state of Ohio, his hometown, and delivered a championship in great fashion. One of the best championships in NBA history. That's pressure. And what he do? He joined one of the most historical franchises in NBA history. The Lakers with Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq, all won titles at. In his 16th year, he goes and joined the Los Angeles Lakers. And here we are today in 2020 talking about LeBron James about to win his 4th NBA championship with the Los Angeles Lakers. Pressure is the word today, and no other player has had or overachieved like LeBron James did over his NBA career. Go ahead, Max.
You tripping. Go ahead, Max.
LeBron's not going to pass Jordan in the way we mean greatest, in the way we mean GOAT. When we say GOAT in any sport, we're not talking about counting numbers. We're not talking about, a cumulative career. This guy has accomplished the most. Not really. We're talking about among the players who sustained a peak level for a good amount of time, who hit the highest peak. If you're talking career, then in the modern era, LeBron probably already passed Kareem as an NBA player, if you discount college for Kareem. Probably LeBron's already the career GOAT. It's either him or Kareem. That's why Jordan's 5th on the scoring list, because Jordan took time off. Because Jordan took those 2 years off. Because he did go to college and all that. His NBA career wasn't as long as Kareem's or LeBron's. Although, yeah, Jordan couldn't handle pressure. Although Jordan played and when he was 40 and averaged 20 points a game when he was 40 years old. But we're talking about peak. And guys, there's any way you want to slice it, Jordan got this. In terms of statistics, in terms of anecdotal stuff, in terms of the impression he left, Jordan left an impression on his contemporary audience